likes. So we are on chapter 19 of the Handbook for Catholic Moms, and chapter 19 was all about our Mother Mary. And I'm actually really excited to talk about this because I have been wanting to talk about the Rosary for a while, and so I'm going to take this opportunity to tell you kind of how I pray the Rosary and why I think it's so special, and give you a couple resources if you are not praying the Rosary regularly now. The thing about the Rosary is you do not have to pray it all at once. Even Pope Benedict, like, you know, the one that was right before Pope Francis, like, he wouldn't do more than a decade at once. Now, like, what is a decade, right? So when you pray the Rosary, you pray using rosary beads, and once you get past kind of these initial prayers here, you're on the decades, and each decade is 10 Hail Marys. So when someone says to pray a decade of the Rosary, what they mean typically is that, you know, you're starting out with one of the mysteries, or you can do an intention. Sometimes people do intentions and not mysteries. And then you pray 10 Hail Marys, ending with a Glory Be and a Fatima prayer at the end. And that can be it. That can be all you need to do. You could go straight to like a Hail Holy Queen, or you could just end it with, you know, sign of the cross. The Rosary is something that really you can personalize. You don't have to do like the whole thing every single time, but praying the whole thing is really beautiful. So if you don't know already, there are mysteries assigned to every day of the week. Okay, so I tend to pray the Rosary with my Relevant Radio app, and so if you go into Pray, which is in the upper right, and go to Audible Prayers, there's 3 different rosaries in here. There's with music, without music, and like the longer version. So as you can see, they list out the joyful mysteries, sorrowful mysteries, and they tell you what day each kind of mystery is on. So that's a really simple way of figuring that out. Tuesdays and Fridays, I always know, I tend to hit Tuesdays and Fridays for some reason, and those are the sorrowful mysteries. So you have like the agony in the garden, the scourging at the pillar, the crowning of thorns, the carrying of the cross, and the crucifixion. And the amazing thing about praying the Rosary is that you're immersed into these mysteries and these really pivotal moments of the New Testament that we all know, but the Rosary just brings them into our daily lives. Like yesterday I was biking and I prayed the Rosary while I bike, and you know, we're praying the luminous mysteries, and they talked about like the Transfiguration. Well, I don't know when the last time it was that I thought about the Transfiguration, but by praying the Rosary on a Thursday, you know, that was brought to my attention. Or like the wedding feast at Cana. Now, when we pray a mystery, there's 2 ways to do it. One, you can just announce the mystery. So like you can say, you know, the first sorrowful mystery, the agony in the garden, and then you move right into your Our Father. So that's probably the quickest way to pray the Rosary. Or you can find either pamphlets or apps, or even I'm sure the internet has suggested like biblical readings that go along with that mystery that help you kind of reflect and dive deeper into that mystery before moving into the different, the Hail Marys. So typically most of the time I just pray with the announcing of it, and then I think about it while I say my Hail Marys. Now, it's hard to know whether you're supposed to think about your Hail Mary or think about the mystery. And there's really no right or wrong answer. You can do one or both. You can say, you know, for this Rosary, I'm going to really focus on my Hail Marys. And so I'm going to announce the mystery, but I'm going to focus less on thinking about that mystery and more about really just praying and laying those roses before Mary's feet. Or you can, you know, say, I'm going to really meditate on what it felt like for Jesus to be crucified, and for those 10 Hail Marys, I'm going to focus less on what I'm saying to Mary and focus more on really contemplating for those 10 Hail Marys, you know, what that means. So you can't pray to Mary like really, really well and focus on the mystery at the same time. It's really difficult. So you just have to choose. And it's okay. You can choose like one word in the Hail Mary. You can say, every time I say the word Jesus, I'm going to just really focus on that. And that's what this prayer is going to be like for this Rosary. You can also give an intention for your Rosary. So you can say, I'm praying this rosary for so-and-so, or for, you know, I'm worried about, you know, getting a new job. I'd like to pray for, you know, a rosary for that, or someone's ill, or like I said, for somebody else. So you can also add intentions to your rosary. You could probably add intentions for every decade as well, and you would just do that probably before you mention the mystery. So that's the other thing I want to talk about, is like where to pray the rosary. So obviously, if you have something that you really, really want to pray for, say your child's going to go have surgery and you really want to pray the rosary in order to send those prayers to God to please protect your child. I do that kind of prayer on my knees in front of a crucifix. Like, that's just the best way. My second favorite position would be like while I'm doing something. So I pray the rosary in the car a lot. I pray the rosary while I'm biking, like I've mentioned. I pray the rosary as I'm cleaning like the house. Like, I'll just put my earbuds in and again, like pop on the relevant radio audio prayer and do it that way. My husband and I sometimes will pray just like sitting in bed together praying the rosary. So there's really not any right or wrong way. I think it's said that if you don't finish the rosary, like you fall asleep or whatever, that angels will pick it up and finish it for you. I do have a couple book resources for you that I have found very helpful. It's my Kindle. If you guys, I will link it down below, but my Paperwhite Kindle, I have so many like religious books on here, and I love being able to preview a book before I buy it, especially because we don't have a bookstore in town, and so I love that you can download a sample. And this Paperwhite, there's no backlight. This is like set for, you just adjust the lighting in terms of like, you know, the lighting, but there's no screen like an iPhone would be. So like falling asleep, this doesn't bug my sleep. Doesn't send any kind of like signals to my brain, you know, that it's time to stay awake. So the first book that I really want to recommend is The Secret of the Rosary by St. Louis. I think it's St. Louis de Montfort, or St. Louis de Montfort, I mean, depending how you want to say it. But I'm reading through that right now, and it's really good. It's kind of like that classic. St. Louis de Montfort is the one who had the original consecration to Mary. He has a bunch of different books about Mary, but I'm reading this one right now, and super good. When you read about the rosary, it makes you want to pray it more, because sometimes the rosary can just seem daunting, which I know it seems silly to be like, oh no, we don't have, you know, 17 or 20 minutes out of our day to sit down and pray, but sometimes it can be hard to find those pockets. I really like the book Praying the Rosary Like Never Before. This book was really good because it's so like real. It's like talks about feeling bored. It talks about feeling like it's a burden. It talks about, you know, wanting to pray it but just feeling like you just can't. You guys, the rosary is our shield and our sword against the devil. I mean, there's so much literature out there about how important this rosary is against the evil one. And I think that the evil one is really, really good at making us like find reasons not to pray this daily. I just think that, you know, it's like, oh no, that's boring, or I have more important things to do, or let me just look up this one other thing, or oh, my kids make it too hard, or I don't want to get up 18 minutes earlier in the day so that I can pray the rosary first thing. Again, it's why I like the audio versions, because you don't have to be fully awake to do it, and you're still praying. Like, you know, prayer is one of those things where I think your intention is like 80% of your prayer. So that's it. God bless. Please like this video if you like talking about the rosary and other Catholic stuff. Make sure you subscribe and click the little notification bell if you don't want to miss anything that I put out there. Until next time, this is Laura from What Laura Likes. Have a blessed day. Bye.